Alright, what's up? We're here at Pro Tour Aetherdrift in Chicago with the Jeskai Oculus deck that I'm playing in a tournament. Team CFB and Friends as usual. There were 15 of us, I believe. 6 of us are playing the Jeskai Oculus deck. Jeskai version of the more commonly seen Azorius Oculus deck, based around trying to get a Born Oculus into the graveyard and then return it back with a helping hand or a recommission. So kind of like that cheaty effect. Capable of doing it as early as turn 2 if you're very, very lucky with the Surveil land. For the most part, we're discarding Oculus and we're returning it. And of course the deck also just casts a Born Oculus too. However, unlike the Azorius version, this deck is much more kind of like a deck than an all-in graveyard deck. The Azorius version is just playing the 4 Oculus and the 4 Haughty Djinn, and then a bunch of cards that search and filter and cantrip, put cards in the graveyard, whereas our deck's more focused on just being a normal deck with creatures, and it doesn't need a Port Oculus to win. So we have the fear of missing out, and the Steam Core Scholars are able to discard the Oculus as well as discard other things. To piggyback off that, we have Prof's Eidetic Memory, which is able to use the draws to add counters to things. Particularly good Steam Core Scholar, which has Vigilance. So if you play it with a Memory in play, end up with a Sarah Angel. Also good to note that's really good against Graveyard Hate too. So the biggest thing against this deck is graveyard stuff. We can kind of sidestep that. Big innovation we have in this deck is that we are playing the Stormchaser's Talent plus This Town Ain't Big Enough package, usually seen in Esper Pixie or Near Bounce or Otters or everywhere else. The one thing this deck was lacking was a good 1-drop and a bit of interaction, and that kind of fulfills both roles. Also allowing the deck to have even more non-graveyard based stuff. Obviously the talent has the graveyard ability, but it's not the main part of the card. Being able to just make Otters over and over again and then have a good thing to bounce with This Town Ain't Big Enough is just really, really awesome. So the deck has a great angle of it is a graveyard deck, but it can do a lot of non-graveyard things, as well as great interaction from red, because the Azorius version also has the problem of the removal isn't great. You know, the white removal spells in this format are only okay. Cards like Get Lost are a little stinky, but Torch Tower is phenomenal in this format. So Torch Tower is great. Bloodrunning Bolt, Pyroclasm, a couple Spell Pierces. One cool thing about this deck also is it sees a lot of cards. So playing high impact one-ofs like Loran of a Third Path or Pyroclasm are awesome because you find them a lot in your games and you can reuse them too. So that Pyroclasm you can cast multiple times with Stormchaser's Talent. Loran was a card we added late in the testing process. Looking for a good card versus Domain that has utility basically everywhere else. And with Loran, we're able to just keep Loraning over and over and over and over again. It can die, come back with recommission, get bounced by This Town Ain't Big Enough, you can keep looping it. So that was a big piece to have against the Domain decks as a way to kind of kill stuff and keep going, which is really, really cool. That's the main deck. Mana is obviously 3-color mana, a bunch of fast lands. It's pretty good. It's not the best, but it is pretty good. And then our sideboard, one of the most important things we have in an Oculus deck or any graveyard deck is finding ways to mitigate graveyard hate, either by destroying it or by sidestepping it. So we have some ways to destroy graveyard hate, destroy evil, and break the spell. But there's a lot of sidestepping going on too, where the plan is to kind of board out some of your Oculuses and some of your reanimation spells and just rely on the fact that Fear of Missing Out and Steam Core Scholar are still just good, even if they have a Rest in Peace in play. We have extra threats on the board as well. 2 Planeswalkers, Rawl, Crackling Wit, and Chandra's Spark Hunter are good against Domain, good against Sweepers, and good against more grindy decks. We have Screaming Nemesis on the board, which is great against the red decks, but also just a serviceable threat to bring in those kind of graveyard hate sort of games. And a lot of interaction here. You know, again, the one-of thing being really important, where you can find your one-ofs a lot, extra Pyroclasm, a Helix, Get Out. And then our plan against Domain is a lot of enchantment removal. Destroy Evil and Break the Spell. Being able to kill the Overlord they target with Zur. The turn they play Zur is huge. Being able to kill Leyline Binding. Kind of just can keep killing enchantments over and over and over against them, which is a decent plan to kill out the Beanstalk as well. So, deck's really cool. I don't think we broke the format or anything like that. I think it's just a good solid deck. We had a good win rate on day 1. The team went, I think in the field, the win rate of his deck was like 54%, which is great. The team did great. Unfortunately, I didn't make day 2. I went 2-3 with the deck. I lost the mirror to John Finkel. I played against Domain twice, not a great matchup. Yeah, I could have played a little better too, I think. But deck's great. If you're looking for awesome standard deck cards, it's actually really cool. So that's a wrap for me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, support the content. If you like the content like this in the Pro Tour, you'd like me to do kind of live deck decks like this, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching. See you next time.